Hello, welcome to the third in a series of videos regarding Agile software development at Appster. In this video, we're going to go into more detail about what Scrum is, how it works, and the actual development processes around it. So in order to understand Scrum, let's just revisit our old friend, the waterfall monster, and discuss how it attempts to develop software, and then we can show how Scrum does it differently and in a far better way. So in the old waterfall model, if we're building up a cake, let's say the product was a cake consisting of layers, then the first layer would be the requirements layer. We'd create our requirements layer, we'd understand the product completely, and then once the requirements had been developed, we would then do our development. Development would be completed successfully in an ideal world. Testing would happen. And we have our cake. Now what happens in the real world is this. Requirements are done, but they take more time than needed, which means that development doesn't quite get done enough. And so either there's functionality missing or holes or gaps. Testing is left until the end, and we have incomplete testing. And we have this kind of lopsided cake that kind of doesn't work. So what does Scrum do to resolve this issue? Because the same challenges that exist for waterfall exist for Scrum, that being that time is limited, money is limited, being the two main ones. So in Scrum what we say is this: rather than looking at the horizontal layers, let's look at the vertical. What we'll do, at one time, we will develop a feature, and it'll consist of requirements, development, and testing. And so we will not start the next feature until this feature is done. And then what happens is that we work on the next feature. We do the requirements, we do the development, we do the testing, and then when that feature is done, we start on the next one. And we keep doing this in what we call sprints. And at the end of the day, let's say there's 4 features in this particular cake. They're all done, and everyone is happy. Now, what happens in the real world is that, let's say, for example, we develop feature 1. We have time for requirements and development and testing. Feature 2, we do the requirements, we do the development and testing. Feature 3 comes along. Okay, we just managed to squeeze the requirements and development and testing in there. Feature 4, however, we don't quite get done. So that's done. Feature 1's done. Feature 2 is done. Feature 3 is done. But we didn't get feature 4 done. So that's a bad thing, but not as bad as the waterfall monster. Because what this means is that we can deliver a fully working piece of software with 3 of the 4 features implemented. This is a far better place to be in than with the waterfall way of doing things, where we had features partially completed in various parts of the application. Scrum aims to deliver the highest value features in order of priority. So what this means is that we know that feature 1 is far more valuable than feature 2. Feature 2 is more valuable than feature 3. We can still keep working on feature 4 and subsequent features if time and budget permits, but the point is that at feature 3, which is when the time and budget permitted for the previous release, that software has been delivered and is functional.